Okay, this is my video on the things I would like to see appearing in White Knight, and I'll give you some reasons as to why I would like to see these things incorporated into White Knight. Okay, so basically the georamas at the moment, you can pretty much put anything you like in there, houses and residents and so forth and so on. But I'd like new additions based on some of the things, say, in the story mode. For example, in the story mode there is the Black Rose, sort of like an antiques dealership that deals in very rare items. I'd like to see a tent very much like one of these main three tents. However, I'd like it to be a Black Rose exchange sort of tent, where you can exchange rare items or appraised weapons for other rare items or appraised weapons within the Black Rose. So if you've got a rare appraised wand and you don't want the wand, you'd rather have a bow, you can take it to the Black Rose tent and simply trade it. There may be a price that you have to pay, an additional markup for the transaction. Another thing that I'd like to see is pretty much every single geo has got its own river. Now what I'd like is if you could put in like a little landing stage, like a little fishing stage, and there'll be a little person standing next to it. It could be one of the little rabbit type people, and you just talk to them and you can start fishing in the actual stream within inside your geo, and you're basically fishing for whatever fish you can catch, but the fish I'd like them to be based on whatever statues you have on in your geo. So if you have a dire spider, you might catch a dire spider fish. It would look pretty similar to a dire spider, apart from it would be a fish. Same if you caught one of these giant Priodermus, or you've got a Priodermus statue in here, you'd have a Priodermus fish, trained fish, those sort of things. So that's pretty much what you'll find in the river, is different sort of fish. And depending on the weight of the fish, you can either trade it in for Dahlia points to match the weight of the fish. So if it weighs 32 pounds, you could trade it in for 32 Dahlia points. Or you can break the fish down and maybe get a few rare drop items. So if you had like the Wraith statue in your geo and you caught fish, you could break it down and perhaps get a transparent or wriggly husk. I think the fishing element could be quite good, as you get quite a lot of insects and things that you pick up from inside the geo, and it's very rare that you use them in sort of binding or making anything. So you could use the insects like the caterpillars and rainbow butterflies and the beetles and so forth to do your fishing. There may also be rod upgrades and things like that you might be able to exchange Dahlia points for, or lures or floats or whatever that you can also exchange Dahlia points for. Do you remember the game Dark Cloud? Well, the makers of Dark Cloud are the same people responsible for this game, White Knight. So they could just incorporate the similar sort of fishing style element into this as they had in Dark Cloud, which would go down quite well, I feel. Also, a sort of an arena would be nice for your geo. So you could put in an arena where you could actually fight any of the statues that you've got based in your geo for any sort of like points or drops, whatever. It's just a one-on-one fight, you against a certain level creature. So if you chose a dire spider, you could choose to fight it at sort of like a GR level of 10, GR level of 20, GR level of 30. And it's basically how good you can do against that boss. I mean, you could queue all of the bosses in succession, and perhaps the prize, you could gamble it each time to get a higher stake prize. Also, a nice thing that I'd like to see in the stadium would be perhaps a player versus player mode, but you have to be of the same GR rank and equal sort of experience level. Or you could have a option to fight without any armour and just a basic weapon. So it's just a very sort of fair player versus player, just for fun. You don't really gain anything from it, no experience points or anything like that. However, I would like the option so the player can put up a prize if they win. So if I wanted to get rid of a bow, say, that I didn't want anymore, and the other person put up a sword, then if I won the fight, I'd still keep my bow and also gain their sword. Just something like that would be quite cool. But really, the main element I'd like to see is the fishing mode. Another idea for another tent would be a Farian tent, and to have some sort of like a racing type game based on it. You know, like you get at the fair with the balls that you have to roll up and they fall into different holes with numbers on. And depending on how far, which hole your ball goes into, the horse moves a certain distance. Well, this could have dragons or something like that. But anyway, they're racing, and you can race against other players inside the geo. And you pay with your guild coins, your guild rank coins. So you pay 1 guild rank coin and the winner takes all. So if there's 4 people playing, you stand to win your stake back plus the other 3 guild coins. So you can pretty much quadruple your coinage. But also, if you haven't got any guild coins, I'd like it that you could pay perhaps like 1,000 guilder points, like actual gold points, to enter. So that way you've got a chance of winning a guild coin, so you can do some more guild quests to help raise your prestige for your guild. I think that would be a nice little addition, because at the moment 3 guild coins per day is a little bit rubbish, especially if you're pretty much clocked the game. If you're a level 30, GR30 with experience level of 70, 80, whatever it is, and you can't go up any more levels, you've done all your rebirths, the only thing you can do is guild quests really, so why not give them extra guild coins? You know, they've probably got loads and loads of gold just sitting there that they can't spend, so let them spend them and get loads and loads of guild coins. Okay, so that's pretty much the additions that I'd like to see come into White Knight. Also, one other tent. I would like a blacksmith's tent. Now this I would like it so if you could choose any armour set that you wanted, you could recolour it, rename it, and redistribute the stats for that armour set. So if you chose like the Quester set, in the Quester set 2 or something, like the higher level end, you could change it from green to say pink or something, and you could redistribute the stats to make it higher in agility rather than dex, that sort of thing, and then name it to whatever you want, and have it in your own custom blacksmith shop that people visit. So every single town technically could have its own variant of a custom armour. I'd like that addition to either be in geos or in guild rooms, because you could create an armour set specifically for your guild that everybody could wear, so it kind of has your own little uniform, your own little niche if you like. I think that would be quite a welcome addition. If anybody agrees with anything that I've put up here on this video, then please comment below. Hopefully Level 5 will see the video, see if it's got any support or any sort of legs, and perhaps follow it up and maybe, I'm hoping, implement it in either White Knight 2 or if they choose to release White Knight 3, that would be fantastic. One last thing that I would really like to see, which is down to rumour basically, and that's the Avatar story. Now, I heard that the Avatar story was going to be coming out at some stage for White Knight Chronicles 2. However, it isn't as yet, so if you are working on the Avatar story, please give us some sort of update, because that would be fantastic. Cheers.